The rain was cold and heavy. Jack pulled his coat tighter around his shoulders as he walked through the broken trees. His shuttle had crashed here 2 days ago. This planet was quiet, too quiet. No animals, no people. Just the wind and strange, glowing plants. He was looking for food when he heard a sound. It was soft like a whimper. He stopped. "Hello?" Jack called. No answer. He walked closer to the trees and pushed some thick vines aside. That's when he saw her. A girl, no, not a human girl. Her skin was light blue, and her hair looked like silver threads. She lay curled in the mud, shivering. Her leg was twisted in a strange way. Jack's breath caught in his throat. She looked at him with wide, glowing eyes. She didn't speak, just stared. Jack stepped slowly forward. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said in a soft voice. "I want to help." Still, she said nothing. But she didn't run either. She couldn't. Her leg was clearly broken, or worse. Jack knelt beside her and looked at the injury. It was swollen and purple near the joint. Her foot was cold. "You need warmth," he said. He carefully took off his jacket and wrapped it around her. She flinched when he touched her, but only for a second. Then her eyes softened. She was afraid, but she was more tired than scared. Jack picked her up slowly, holding her close to his chest. She was light, too light, like she hadn't eaten in days. He carried her back to the small shelter he had built near the wreckage. Inside, he set her down on the blanket near the heater. She looked around with confusion. Everything was strange to her: tools, lights, even the soft bed. "I'm Jack," he said, pointing to himself. "Jack," she didn't answer. Her lips trembled, but no words came out. Jack opened a pack and gave her water. She drank, slowly, then closed her eyes for a moment. Later that night, Jack looked at her leg again. The swelling was worse now. He knew a little about first aid. If the blood didn't move, she could lose her leg, or worse. "I need to fix this," he told her gently. He rolled up her long cloth pants to reveal more of the injury. She gasped but didn't pull away. Her muscles were tight, locked in pain. He had no medicine, no machines. Just his hands. "I'm going to try something," he said. "A massage. It might help the blood move again." He placed his hands on her leg. Her body froze. Her eyes went wide. But again, she didn't stop him. Slowly he pressed his fingers into the soft flesh around the swollen area. Her breath hitched. Her body trembled. "I'm not hurting you, right?" he asked. She didn't answer with words, but she didn't push him away. So he continued. His hands moved carefully, slowly, working the muscles, pressing just enough to make a difference. She closed her eyes now, and her breathing changed. It was still shaky, but calmer. Jack felt something strange under his fingers. A warmth, like a low hum. Her skin was glowing faintly where he touched her. "What the?" he whispered. Then her hand moved. She touched his arm, not to stop him, but to guide him. She pressed his hand a little higher, near her thigh, then looked into his eyes. Jack froze. There was something deep in her gaze. Not fear, not pain. Something else. "Okay," he said quietly. He moved higher, still massaging, still careful. Her skin became warmer. Her breath deepened. Her hand didn't let go of his arm. It was like a silent message. "Don't stop." Jack didn't understand what was happening. He only knew one thing: she was healing. Or changing. Or both. After a few more minutes, her leg twitched. Just a little. She looked down in shock. Then she looked back at Jack and smiled, a small, weak smile. But a real one. It was the first human-like expression she had shown. Jack smiled back. "You're gonna be okay," he whispered. She didn't know the words, but she felt them. And for the first time in days, maybe weeks, she felt safe. The wind outside howled through the cracks of the shelter. Inside, all was still except for her eyes. She lay on the soft blanket, quiet. Jack sat beside her, confused. Her hand still held his wrist. He wasn't touching her leg anymore. He had stopped the massage minutes ago. But she hadn't let go. Her eyes, they didn't blink. They didn't move. It was like her whole body had frozen, except for her heart, beating fast. Jack leaned forward, checking her face. "Are you okay?" She didn't answer. Then slowly, her eyes moved to his hand. Back to his face. Then again to his hand. She was trying to say something, without words. "Do you want me to keep going?" He asked. Still silent, but she gave the tiniest nod. Jack hesitated. This felt strange. Not wrong, just ... different. Her skin had glowed when he touched her earlier. Like there was energy under it, something alive. Was it pain? Was it healing? Or was it something more? He moved his hand back to her leg. The moment he touched her, she gasped, but not in fear. Her breathing sped up, but her muscles didn't tense this time. They softened. She relaxed. Jack continued the massage, moving slowly. He used both hands now, pressing gently into the sore places. Her skin felt hot, not like a fever, but like something awakening inside her. Suddenly, her body shook. Just once. Like a jolt of electricity. Her eyes widened. She sat up halfway, then stopped herself. Her hand reached for her chest, where a soft blue light began to glow beneath the skin. "What's going on?" Jack whispered. She opened her mouth. A word almost came out, but she coughed instead. Jack moved closer. "It's okay, take it slow." She reached for his face. Her fingers brushed his cheek. Then she did something he didn't expect. She smiled again, but this time, it reached her eyes. And then she took his hand and placed it back on her thigh, higher than before. "Wait," Jack said. "Are you sure?" She looked straight at him. This time she nodded clearly. There was no fear in her face now. Only trust. Jack continued, now moving his fingers along the new area. Her skin reacted, glowing brighter, warming fast. He saw small sparks under the surface, like tiny stars. Then he noticed something else. Her foot moved. Just a twitch, but it moved again. Jack stared in shock. "You're getting feeling back?" She nodded slowly. Then she said her first clear word, voice soft and broken. "Warm." Jack blinked. "You mean, your leg feels warm?" She nodded again, a little faster this time. "Warm. Good." He smiled. "That's a good sign." She closed her eyes again, letting him keep going. Her breathing was deep now. Calm, but something deep inside Jack's chest began to stir. This wasn't just about healing anymore. There was something between them. Something powerful and strange. Something neither of them could explain, and whatever it was, it had only just begun. Cliffhanger for part 3. But outside the shelter, just beyond the trees, someone or something was watching. Alien eyes glowing in the dark, and they did not look happy. It started with a shadow, not a normal one, but tall, sharp, and moving fast across the trees outside the shelter. Then came a sound, a deep, humming noise like thunder, but not from the sky. Jack looked up from where he sat beside the alien girl. She was asleep, her leg glowing faintly, healing slowly under his care. But Jack felt something wrong. He grabbed the small knife he kept near his pack and moved toward the door. The wind had stopped. Even the glowing plants outside had dimmed. The forest held its breath. Then boom! The door flew open, blasted from its hinges. 3 tall figures stormed in. Jack jumped back. They weren't human. They looked like the girl, but bigger, stronger. Their eyes glowed like fire, and their faces were sharp with rage. Their armor shimmered in shades of black and silver. One of them pointed at Jack and shouted something in a strange language. The girl woke instantly. She saw them and her face turned pale. "Wait," Jack shouted. "She's hurt. I'm helping her." But the aliens didn't care. One grabbed Jack by the shirt and lifted him off the ground with one hand. The girl screamed, trying to get up, but her legs still shook. She fell forward, crying out. One of the aliens moved to her, checking her quickly. His face changed. He touched her glowing leg, then stared at Jack. He shouted something again, louder, and this time his voice shook the walls. The girl dragged herself toward them. "No, no harm," she yelled, pointing at Jack. The other aliens froze. Jack looked at her, shocked. You can speak?" She winced but nodded. "Small words, learn, watching you." The alien holding Jack lowered him slowly, but didn't. "Let go." The girl looked at the biggest one, the leader maybe, and spoke in her language. Her voice was shaking, but firm. She pointed to her leg, then to Jack, then placed her hand on her chest. The leader listened. His glowing eyes narrowed. Then, finally, he let Jack go. Jack dropped to the floor, coughing. "What's happening?" he asked her. She turned to him slowly. "They think." "You broke the law," she said. "What law?" "Touching leg." "Very private. Sacred." Jack's face went pale. "I didn't know. I was just helping." She gave him a small nod. "I told them." "You help, not hurt." The leader stepped forward now. He spoke slowly, clearly, as if trying to use human words. "You touch her leg?" Jack hesitated. Then he nodded. "Yes, I did." The leader's face twitched. Then he asked something even stranger. "You feel bond?" Jack blinked. "What?" The girl looked at the leader, surprised. He repeated the words slowly. "Did you feel bond?" Jack looked at her glowing leg, her warm skin, her soft breathing as she slept under his hands. And yes, he had felt something. Not just physical but real, deep, strange. "Yes," Jack said quietly. "I felt something." The leader turned to the other warriors and spoke in his own language. They looked at Jack, not with anger now but curiosity. Then the leader walked to the girl, touched her shoulder gently, and looked her in the eyes. She nodded. He turned back to Jack. "You come with us." Jack frowned. "Where?" The girl answered. "Home." Jack looked at her. Her eyes were calm, but also full of worry. "Why?" he asked. She said one word. "Trio." Jack had seen strange things since landing on this alien planet, but nothing like this. He was standing in the center of a glowing village. Alien faces surrounded him, tall, silent, watching. Their skin was like polished stone. Their eyes shimmered like stars. And right in front of him, 4 warriors stood in a row. Each one lifted their leg. Jack blinked. "Wait, what?" The leader of the tribe stepped forward. His voice was slow but clear. "You touched her. She walked. She healed." He pointed to the warriors. "Now, touch them." Jack looked at the line of soldiers. Their legs were wrapped in cloth, injured, swollen. One even had metal braces. These were not small wounds. Jack turned to Sorali, the alien girl he had helped before. She stood close, her leg almost fully healed now. "They think I can heal." "All of them?" Jack asked. She nodded. "Your hands carry heat. Your touch, special to us." Jack shook his head. "I'm not a doctor. I was just helping you." The elder didn't care. He pointed again. "You heal, now." Jack sighed and walked up to the first warrior. The man looked nervous, even scared. He didn't speak, just nodded once. Jack knelt and unwrapped the leg slowly. A scar ran across the calf, dark and deep. The skin looked tight and damaged. Jack placed both hands on the leg. Nothing happened at first. Then a faint glow appeared under his fingers. The crowd gasped. The warrior stiffened, but didn't move away. Jack began to massage gently, just like he had with Sorali. He could feel something under the skin, like energy. It was flowing between them. The warrior grunted. "Pain?" Jack asked. "No," the man said quietly. "Warm." After 10 minutes, Jack stepped back. The warrior moved his foot. Then he took a step forward. The crowd gasped again. Jack looked up. This is crazy. But the next warrior was already stepping forward, and the next dot by the time Jack finished the fourth one. His hands were shaking. Sweat ran down his face. He had never felt so tired. The elder approached again. You, not just human. You, healer. Jack shook his head. No, I'm just, the elder cut him off. Chosen. Sarali looked at him with wide eyes. Chosen is a legend. Jack stared at her. What kind of legend? She spoke softly. A being not of our kind, who brings life back through touch. When he comes, a bond will form. Two people, one heart. Jack stepped back. Wait. I was just trying to help someone with a leg cramp. But the aliens were not laughing. They were kneeling. To him. Jack looked at Sarali. She didn't kneel, but she didn't look away either. I didn't ask for this, he whispered. She nodded. But they need you now. Jack took a deep breath, looking around. Then he noticed something strange. Not all the aliens were happy. One figure stood in the shadows, arms crossed, eyes sharp. A younger warrior. His face was full of anger. And in his hand was a knife. Jack woke up choking. A rough hand was over his mouth. Cold metal pressed against his throat. In the dark, someone growled, "She was not yours to touch." The figure's breath smelled of smoke and hate. Jack's heart raced. He grabbed the wrist, holding him, and twisted hard. The attacker yelped and dropped the knife. Jack shoved him off, rolled away, and grabbed the stick from the floor. They fought fast, silent, deadly. No one came to help. Finally, Jack kicked the attacker in the stomach and sent him flying into the wall. Moonlight slipped through the cracks. Jack saw the attacker's face. It was the young warrior, who had watched him with burning eyes earlier. He spat blood on the ground. You touched her leg. That was a promise. Then he fled into the night. Jack didn't sleep again. By morning, the village buzzed with whispers. The elder said nothing, but guards were placed outside Jack's shelter. He sat in silence, staring at his hands. I didn't promise her anything, he muttered. But maybe he had. That's when the door opened slowly. Sarali stepped in. Her long silver hair was braided now. Her walk was stronger. No limp. Jack looked up. Did you hear what happened? She nodded once. He is angry. He wanted to bond with me, before. Jack didn't answer. She walked closer, then closed the door behind her slowly. The wooden latch slid into place with a soft click. Jack stood. What are you doing? She said nothing. She moved to the center of the room and sat down. Then, just like before, she lifted her leg. Jack stared. Sarali. Her voice was soft. Still some pain. But that's not why I came. She placed her hand on her chest. My people believe the bond only forms if the touch is real, if it comes from care, not duty, not pressure. Jack swallowed. You think I care? She smiled. You stayed, you helped, you touched my pain, and stayed. She reached forward, took his hand, and placed it on her leg again. Warmth spread instantly. Her skin glowed, brighter than before. But it wasn't just her this time. Jack looked down at his own arms. His skin was glowing too. What is this? He whispered. Sarali looked up at him. This is how we choose. Not just love, trust, a life bond. Jack pulled back slightly. Are you saying we're bonded now? She didn't answer with words. Instead, she stood on both legs, walked to him without shaking, and wrapped her arms around his chest. Her voice trembled. No one has ever touched me like that. No one stayed after. Jack felt her heart beating fast against his. I didn't mean to start something, he whispered. But you did, she replied. And I don't want you to stop. Outside, the wind changed. Drums began to beat again in the distance. This time slower. A different rhythm. Sarali looked toward the sound. They come to see the bond, to test it. Jack frowned. Test it how? Her face was serious. Another tribe is coming. They do not believe. They want proof. Jack took a deep breath. And if I can't prove it? She looked down. They'll take you from me. The firelight danced across the stone walls of the elders' circle. Jack stood in the center, chest rising and falling with slow, uneasy breaths. Sirali stood beside him, silent, her hand gripping his tightly. All around them, two tribes watched, one old, one new. But all eyes were on Jack. Then from the far side of the circle, another figure stepped into the light. Jack's heart dropped. It was a human. A man, taller than Jack, face sharp, eyes cold. He wore alien robes, but his boots were standard earth-made. His voice was calm and deep. So, this is the healer they talk about? Jack stared. Who the hell are you? The man gave a dry smile. Name's Bishop. Last survivor of the Caraway crash. Guess you weren't the only one dropped on this planet. Jack narrowed his eyes. Why are you with them? Bishop shrugged. They found me, fed me, protected me. I gave them tech. They gave me power. Sirali stepped forward. You lied to them. You called yourself a healer. Bishop's smile faded. I gave them hope, same as you. But you didn't heal, she said. Bishop's eyes flashed. Because I couldn't, not like him. He pointed at Jack. So prove it, Bishop said. Let's test your bond right now. The elder from Sirali's tribe nodded slowly. We accept. Two warriors stepped forward. They carried an old scroll worn, sacred. Sirali whispered to Jack. This is the trial of trust, from our oldest stories. She turned to face the crowd. Long ago, it is said a chosen would come. Someone who could heal not just flesh, but soul. Someone whose touch would bring truth. Jack didn't understand it all, but he knew what he had to do. The warriors brought forward a young girl, maybe 12 in human years. Her legs were stiff, barely moving. She had not walked since birth. This child, the elder said, will be touched by the one who claims the bond. Bishop laughed. She's never walked. If you fail, they'll know you're not special. Jack knelt beside the child. What's your name? The girl looked up shy. Phila. He smiled gently. Hi Phila, I'm Jack. He placed his hands on her legs. Nothing happened at first. Then slowly her skin glowed under his fingers. Not blue like Sirali, but soft white. A light of her own. She gasped. Then one toe moved. Then her foot. The crowd leaned forward. Silent. Jack kept his hands steady. He focused, breathing slowly. He wasn't sure what he was doing, only that he believed in what he was doing. Minutes passed, and then Phila stood, shaky, small, but standing. The crowd erupted. Some cried. Some dropped to their knees. Even the guards let go of their weapons. Jack looked up and saw Sirali's eyes shining with tears. She ran to him and hugged him tightly. You did it, she whispered. You proved the bond is real. But not everyone was smiling. Bishop stepped back, face dark. You're not a healer, he growled. You're a threat. He turned and stormed off into the shadows. Sirali noticed. He won't accept this. Jack nodded. Then we better be ready. The stars flickered, then vanished. It was as if someone had turned the sky off. The ground shook. The drums stopped. Every alien in the village looked up in fear. Jack stepped outside the stone circle, his hand still holding Sirali's. Then he saw it. A ship, huge, silent, blacker than space itself. It hovered above the trees, glowing faintly underneath. Not alien, not tribal. Human military, Sirali whispered. Is that your people? Jack's voice was low. No, that's not a rescue. The ship lowered. A ramp extended. And from the shadows, Bishop appeared grinning. He turned to the crowd. You thought he was your chosen? He's just a lost man. I brought the real power. A human officer stepped out of the ship behind him, wearing sleek black armor. His voice echoed across the village. Subject 11. You are ordered to return with us. Jack frowned. Subject. What? The officer raised a tablet. Jack Marlowe. Born Earth, Colony 3. Volunteer for the Empath Touch program. We made you. You're not a healer, you're an experiment. The crowd murmured. Confused. Afraid. Sorali looked at Jack, trembling. Is this true? Jack stared at the ship, at the men in armor. At Bishop's smirk. Then he looked back at Sorali. I don't know what they did to me, he said. But I know what I did here. I helped you. I helped Thela. And that wasn't a program. That was me. Bishop raised a weapon. Enough. You're coming with us, dead or alive. But before he could shoot, Sorali stepped in front of Jack. She spread her arms, glowing from head to toe. No, she said. Bishop paused, confused. Then another alien stepped forward. Then another. And another. The whole village surrounded Jack. And suddenly Sorali's leg lit up with a pulse of light. It spread from her foot to her chest. And into Jack. He gasped as energy flooded through him. Their bond wasn't just healing, it was alive now. The officer shouted, "Take them both." But before the soldiers could move, the ground split open. Roots, vines, the living forest itself rose to protect them. Sorali's people chanted in an old tongue. Their planet had chosen. It sighed. The ship rose quickly, engines screaming. The soldiers panicked, trying to lift off. But it was too late. The vines pulled the ramp closed. The forest wrapped around the ship, swallowing it whole. Within seconds, the sky was quiet again. No more ship. No more Bishop. Only peace. Jack turned to Sorali. She stepped toward him, no limp, no pain. She looked up into his eyes and said, clear and strong, "You are not chosen because of what they made you. You are chosen because of what you chose." Then she placed her hand on his chest. "I choose you too." She walked into his arms and rested her head against him. He held her close, heart pounding. Around them, the village celebrated, not because they had a savior, but because they had each other.